This is Anachrony. What is it about?
In this video, we're going to take you through an overview of the game Anachrony, and if you stay tuned till the end, hopefully you'll be able to decide whether or not this game is for you. Coming up. Hi, it's Tarrant.
And Stella from Meeple University, bringing you a variety of quality board game videos.
In this video, we're going to take you through an overview of the game Anachrony, designed by David Turczi with Victor Peter and Richard Amann, and published by Mindclash Games.
Let's get to the table.
Released in 2017 via Kickstarter, Anachrony is a post-apocalyptic time-traveling worker placement game designed by David Turczi with Victor Peter and Richard Amann, and published by Mindclash Games. The game plays 2 to 4 players competitively with an estimated duration of 30 minutes per player. It is of medium to heavy complexity, and it also comes with optional competitive modules and a solo mode. In this video, we're showing you the base retail version of the game. Also available for purchase is an upgrade kit which includes some miniatures replacing the cardboard exosuit tokens in the game. In Anachrony, players play as the leaders of 4 ideologically disparate factions on post-apocalyptic 26th century Earth. The world has just discovered the secret of time travel, and with that discovery learned of an impending asteroid strike, and so players will use the resources at their disposal to attempt to build up in preparation for the impact, evacuate the planet, and ultimately earn the most victory points to become the dominant faction among the survivors. At its very core, Anachrony utilizes conventional worker placement and Euro-style tableau building mechanisms. On each turn, players will take it in turns to place workers on the main board in order to gather resources, to recruit new workers, and ultimately to build buildings, which are worth victory points and will give the player access to additional engine building actions. However, Anachrony blends these conventional mechanisms with several unique additions to lend a deep strategy to the game. The game has 4 distinct types of workers, each of which is uniquely skilled at some of the action types and weaker at others. The game has 2 distinct types of worker placement spaces. On the post-apocalyptic main board, workers must be placed into protected exosuits in order to take actions. And in the relative safety of the player's home base, workers can take their actions without protection. In each round, players must choose how many of their exosuits they're going to power up in advance and pay resources to do so, and so optimizing the power-up phase forms a key part of action efficiency. Finally, workers return to their home base tired after performing their actions, and players can choose to give them water in order to reactivate them, or simply force them back to work thirsty. And they will either gain or lose morale points based on their decision. These 3 features add extra levels of complexity to the worker placement and worker management elements of the game. The game uniquely allows players to engage in time travel. At the start of each round, players can ask their future selves to send up to 2 resources back in time in order to get an immediate boost for this round. Later on in the game, players will need to build power plants in order to power a time machine, in order to send those same resources back in time to their past selves. Players gain victory points as they demonstrate their mastery of time travel, but will lose victory points or even create space-wasting anomalies if they can't unravel the paradoxes in the timeline. After 4 rounds have been completed, the impact will occur, triggering a countdown to the end of the game. Main board action spaces become more lucrative, but exosuits become more expensive. At some stage after the impact, players need to evacuate the planet by meeting a predetermined prerequisite and then scoring points for how successfully they meet that faction's objective. A well-played evacuation could be worth as much as half of a player's final score, and so players who mistime their post-impact actions risk missing out on these points entirely. The game will end after 7 rounds, or earlier if all of the main board action spaces have been used up after the impact, and this gives players some collective control over the endgame timing. Points gained during the game for the evacuation and other bonuses are added to points on buildings, points for morale and time travel, and points for majorities on 5 predetermined endgame objectives. The player with the highest score wins. The game comes with an additional module, the Doomsday module, in which players can influence the timing of the impact. The blue and green factions work to save the world, while the red and yellow factions attempt to hasten its demise. This module collectively gives the players extra control over the game and can reward players who adopt a more nimble strategy to deal with changes to impact and endgame timing. The game also comes with a solo mode in which the player competes against an automa controlled by a die and a sequence of actions printed on its own player board. The automa will both block locations for other players and perform its own actions for points under some modified rules.
And that's overview of Anachrony. We hope that you enjoyed the video and we hope that it helps you.
If you'd like to learn the rules to the game in full, you can click on the link in the description to check out our how to play video for this game, which includes some tips and strategies from the game's designer, David Turczi.
If you like this video, please consider hitting the like button. And also we have a Facebook group, Meeple University Community. Considering checking that out. We are lovers of board games, so we just like to chat about board game there.
And finally, if you'd like to be among the first notified of what's new from Meeple University, please consider subscribing to our channel. You can click on the Meeple up in the corner and click on the bell to get notifications.
And if you'd like to have any questions, feedback, comments, please write in the comment sections below. Until next time.